My first guest is Deb Clark-Turcott. She'll be talking about positive media in Richford and what she'd like to see with cable and community media in Richford town. Hey Deb, how are you?
I'm well, Zach, and how about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Today's been a good day, and I'm really happy to be up here in Richford talking with some folks here. I wanted to ask you, what's going on in Richford?
Well, I was really excited to come here tonight because it's an opportunity for us to finally have some broadcast time. I would love to see us covering more beautiful things that we do that are positive here in Richford. We have a lovely farmers market that runs from spring to fall, and lots of homegrown and homemade wares. I think that we could be covering some of the beautiful holiday festivities that we have, whether it's in our schools or whether it's in the town hall and they do a hometown follies as well to benefit the senior meal site.
Yeah.
And so there's just like really great things that could go on besides, and I think that you'll find that there's a lot of enthusiasm in farms and the parsons that have sheep day every year. We could, maybe do little segments on that, or meet the business every week or something would be kind of fun.
One thing that we were talking about before the show, and those things that you mentioned, are positive things that every community needs to be a healthy, functioning community, especially in rural Vermont,
Yeah.
I guess, what was the last community event you attended yourself or participated in? Tell me about what you enjoyed about it.
Well, I like the farmers market.
Yeah.
That tends to be something that and our beautiful library here is also something that I very much cherish having, and I think that's the cornerstone to every community. We have a beautiful historical society in the old fire department building, and I just think that there's great things that go on here, senior meal sites. I think a lot of people that might be shut in might love to see the children's choirs and band concerts and such that we have at both our high school and our elementary school. And so I just think there's a lot of good things that go on here. The tree lighting will be coming up soon, breakfast with Santa.
Oh, yeah,
to be able to get some pictures, I think that would be quite lovely.
I wanted to ask you about yourself. I think you said you were living here for, was it 30 years?
Yes, I'm going on 31.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Well, I came up here after I met my husband on vacation elsewhere, and we decided to make our home here and raise two lovely daughters. And I found that this is a place of peace and tranquilness, and really beautiful natural beauty is just abounding everywhere. And I think that we're kind of the last stop before you hit the Canadian border.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of intermingling of those two cultures, and we could even maybe go into, focusing on things that go on here at the library, such as the painting classes or cooking shows, or, there's just a variety of things.
Lots of stuff going on, and we don't always hear about it. Being here for 30 years, you have kind of a lay of the land, and like you said, beautiful countryside and everything. There's also a lot of history here. Like you said, the Historical Society is
and a Lions
pretty
Club
prolific.
and
Yeah.
American Legion. So
Yeah.
there's lots of great organizations that truly support our community and children in so many ways. We really are fortunate to live here where our children get a great education, want more one-on-one, and I just think it's a great place, and this would be a great place to showcase that.
My next guest is Mike Rannick. He's a resident here in Richford, and he's going to tell us about some initiatives going on in Richford town. Hey Mike, how's it going?
Hello Zach, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
I know we have a lot to talk about, a lot of initiatives going on. Your personal initiatives, but also town and other initiatives. But before I start with that, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, real briefly, I've been here about 3 years now. I'm a property owner here on Main Street. I've been rehabbing a duplex here, which is my home residence presently right now, and kind of a quasi-business office for an entrepreneur, initiating and organizing right now a nonprofit about caring as much about our neighbors' health and well-being and success as to our own, that kind of principle, but focusing on the enterprise and commerce, encouraging that in our high schools, and for families, because it was families that built this country, small family businesses that built our nation.
So where you're at now, with all the things that you just mentioned, I guess you call it the Caring Community Initiative. You're here now. What was the kernel of the idea, or what was the kernel of idea that started everything?
Well, before I came to Vermont, I was down in Virginia and I was watching PBS, and I saw a documentary about the countries and just the water issues in some countries, and how over 5 million children under 18 and under children die every year from bad water, lack of water, but a lot of bad water, and no medicine then to counter the very big ill. And it just struck me, it's like, wow, I just was not aware of that, and it just kind of parlayed on into, what could I do about this? How maybe could I make a difference? 5 million, such a huge sadness for all those parents. That's what I was thinking. I was from a large family myself, and I know we've lost a couple of siblings in the family, and so you know how sad it is for your parents and for the family when there's a loss. And you think that 5 million children, well, that's 10 million parents. Sadness of losing their children. So it encouraged me to learn more about it and see what could we do about that. So that led then into this, and I thought, well, start at home and start local and grow world. There's a saying, I forget how it goes. Start near to home and go to the world. But so that's kind of how it started. It's just in that and a lot of processing and thinking it through, and mostly by myself. And so now it's kind of focused down to this: the family sustainability, family values, family cohesiveness, togetherness, working on. But the financials are just so critical to opportunity.
Gosh, yeah. And especially, well, nonprofits and volunteer stuff and personal initiatives, growing, it takes a lot of gumption, as I say.
Well, getting the ball rolling. Getting the ball rolling is really tough. Staying on focused and on top of one thing at a time. When you're one person working on an initiative, my biggest challenge has just been this shotgun scatter shot. Okay, there's this idea, that idea, this and that, and then it's wide, broad, and it just can exhaust you, and it did. And so what I learned from that is that let's just get focused about getting one thing done and do it the best that I can, and hopefully then encourage other people to participate too.
So when you're saying this needs to be done, that needs to be done.
Oh yeah, it goes on. It never ends. It grows every day.
Yeah. So you're saying there are a lot of things that you've identified as a lot of need.
There's a huge need,
and
not just here, but across the whole world,
in
our state, in our nation, and everywhere we go. There's hurting people, people in needs, and we all know what it's like to have needs, to be hurt and to be alone or struggling and not very maybe getting the support or assisting that we know could be there and is there. Sometimes it's just a matter of getting connected with it or getting people to know about the need.
Right.
That's a lot of times. Like, I didn't know about the 5 million kids that perished every year. Every year. And there's even more than that. It goes, it's about 10 million people die between malnutrition and lack of water and medicine and operations and things that they could have helped to give them an opportunity to grow up, to go to high school, to get educated, to have a family,
So those are big numbers. It's a big world out there.
Yeah.
So thinking about, in terms
Well, it comes down to one now. Let's bring it down from a big world, big numbers down to one.
Right.
Let's bring it down to one-on-one.
Yeah.
What can I do to assist one other person
that
to make a
local
difference in somebody in some way? How do we do that? How can we do that? And there are a lot of ways to do it. Some very simple, don't cost anything, just put a little bit of time, an idea, suggestion, sharing, just getting the connection going. And as we connect more, we know more, we understand more, we become more compassionate, empathetic, and we realize we can make a difference.
And that's what's going on in Richford. I'm Zach Scheffler, and thanks for watching. All right.